6:38, and well, Alex, you're taking us back into the history books this week and helping us all get a better understanding of the days before and after Gettysburg.
Yeah, well, the Battle of Gettysburg certainly gets plenty of headlines. The first battle on free soil actually took place in late June as the Battle of Hanover provided a rude awakening for some Confederates. On Tuesday, June 30th, 1863, Hanover, Pennsylvania celebrated as Union Brigadier General Kilpatrick's cavalry rolled through the city streets.
Hanover citizens were giving them beer, they were giving them food, pie, cake, and some of the soldiers got these small little things they'd never seen before, which the Germans called pretzels, that a lot of these soldiers had never tasted a pretzel before. And Hanover was the first experience, and many men recorded in their diaries and letters about this very salty, very tasty snack that the people of Hanover were giving to them.
Just 3 days earlier, 275 Confederate cavalrymen had stopped in Hanover to raid stores and take horses. It would start a stretch the townspeople had heard a lot about, but not seen until quite suddenly.
We got a lot of rumors. Hanover's in the middle of rumors. The rebels are coming, the rebels are coming. Well, they never showed up, So it was one of these of crying wolf.
Jeb Stewart is known as the eyes and ears of the Confederates. He's hauling around 125 seized Union supply wagons and heading north to try and find the rest of the Confederates. Instead, he finds himself in an all-out cavalry battle, this one taking place in downtown Hanover.
They ended up having a pretty savage fight on this, particularly along Frederick Street, and a couple side alleys all the way through town.
You've got dead horses and 40-something casualties strewn along the streets of Hanover.
What Hanover will turn out to be is the largest military engagement in York County history, almost 10,000 men.
The front of the Union line had reached Abbottstown when they heard the shots from the rear. Kilpatrick rode his horse so hard to get back to Hanover that legend says his horse died once it finally arrived back to the city. But he was just one unexpected thing the Confederates had to worry about.
I think Stewart himself acknowledged for the first time as we rode further north, Hanover was the only time that the civilians took up arms in addition to the Federal Army.
Women and civilians from Hanover shooting at the Confederates from their second floor windows of their houses. They would pop open the shutter and shoot the rebels as they were passing by horseback. I guess one of the dangers of urban warfare is you don't necessarily know who the enemy is.
After the initial fighting in town, citizens ran out to try and set up barricades.
A Confederate Reed shell fired from Mount Olivet Cemetery into Hanover. As you notice, it didn't explode when it hit. It went through the upstairs bedroom of the Weinbrenner house on Frederick Street, in through the second floor, into their daughter's bedroom. She was in her bed then. The shell rolled into the hallway, still smoking. Dad came upstairs and picked it up and threw it into the garden, and it still doesn't explode.
One man who's known in history for his last stand makes his first real headline in Hanover.
George Arthur Custer was totally unknown. He was new to his men, he was new to the public. Hanover proved to be his first battle as a brigadier general. At Gettysburg, just obviously the next 2 days later, first at Hunterstown and then at Gettysburg's East Cavalry Field, Custer proved himself to be a very aggressive, pretty competent general.
Eventually, Stewart starts to pull his men out, and by 2 a.m., his column, spanning almost 17 miles, reaches Dover.
That delay put him in Gettysburg on day 2, late on day 2 of the 3-day battle. And just think if he would have got on those supplies that were in that wagon, the outcome at Gettysburg could have been questionable. So we like to think Hanover saved the nation.
For more ways to learn about the Battle of Hanover and the hours for the Hanover Area History Museum, just head to our website, fox43.com.